Hello and welcome to a special interview for The Wire supported by Glenlivet Books. Can India's opposition parties come together and forge sufficient political unity to defeat the BJP in 2024? There's at least one leading opposition politician who believes they can. But is he being realistic or is he being unrealistic? Joining me now to answer that question is India's former law minister, a leading member of the Rajya Sabha and one of the country's foremost lawyers, Kapil Sibal. Kapil Sibal, it's widely believed that the dinner you hosted on Monday the 9th was not simply a celebration of your 73rd birthday, but also the first step to bring together parties in opposition to the BJP on a common platform. Can you confirm that?
First of all, it was not a celebration of my 73rd birthday. I, in fact, never told anybody that the previous day was my birthday. It was just an invitation to start a conversation with opposition leaders to find out whether we can have a common platform on the basis of which we can move forward. Because remember, 2024 is just short of 3 years away. And unless we start now, we'll not be able to forge a coalition. And my intent really was to start that conversation.
So in a sense, it was a first conversation to create a common platform
Yes.
that would then provide the opposition unity
Yes.
to defeat the BJP 3 years from now.
Correct.
Tell me, was it just your intention to simply create an electoral alliance that can electorally defeat the BJP, or do you want to go that critical one step further and also reverse the changes in India's democracy, restore the ethos, restore the political culture that's been undermined?
That's the heart of the impetus that I was moving forward with this in mind, exactly that. Actually, since 2014, but much more so since 2019, we've seen the foundations of India being destroyed step by step. And, the republic is without the public now. It's just this power, this monolithic state which is destroying the aspirations of the public. Look at education, look at health, look at institutions, look at governors, CAGs, bureaucrats.
Human rights, the press, freedoms,
yes,
the use of sedition, the misuse of UAPA.
UAPA, sedition. I mean, all that we stood for in 1947, and we're entering the 71st year of our independence.
So this is both political reform, but also restoration of values, the constitution, and our political culture.
That's the heart of it. And that's exactly what I said in my opening remarks, that we're coming together to restore what we have lost since 2014.
So would I be right in using those phrases? Both political reform and constitutional restoration?
Absolutely, without any doubt.
There's no doubt that that dinner was a great start. And there are very few politicians who could have pulled together this collection of people from different parties. But do you have a roadmap to the way forward? Is there a plan? Is there a scheme that now begins to step by step roll out?
Honestly, I must tell you, Karan, this is the first step. This is a first conversation. And what emerged at the end of that conversation, let me tell you that, was a coalition of interest, a coalition of thoughts, of political parties who don't think together within the state in which they are, but seem to be thinking together in the context of our republic.
So your belief is that the dinner has produced a coalition of interests, a coalition of thought.
Yes.
That, in a sense, is an achievement. It's a step forward. But
I agree.
how would you explain that to the audience? What is a coalition of interests? What is a coalition of thought?
See, everybody said that this juggernaut of the BJP, which is destroying all that India stands for, must be met with vigor and together, because unless we are together, we'll not be able to defeat the BJP.
So there's unity on that point.
That's
we
correct.
need to be united to defeat
Absolutely.
the BJP.
And one of my colleagues suggested that we must actually put up 400 single candidates against the BJP. And if we are able to do that, we'll defeat the BJP. So it was not just the thought, it was also the process started as to how do we manage that.
Was there agreement on that 400 figure?
No. It was, it was something that was,
an idea.
An idea that was provided by one of my colleagues. And everybody thought about it. And they didn't openly say so that they agree, because it's not easy to agree on these things. This is it's a tough roadmap ahead.
But you're saying something important. You're saying part of the coalition of interests, part of the coalition of thoughts, and I'm using those evocative phrases because I think they sum up what the meeting achieved.
Yes.
Part of that was the realization, or the dawning of the realization, that if we're going to defeat the BJP, we need to put up one-to-one fights in at least 400 seats. That idea has now sunk through and begun to be accepted.
Well, you see, it's very interesting. Sitaram Yechury said something this morning. I hope you've read it in the paper.
In the Indian Express.
He has said that we will be with the TMC. We are ready to work with the TMC to fight Modi.
Yes, but he also said that we are against the TMC and will not ally with them in Bengal
fine.
and Tripura.
Which is fine.
But I'll come to that in a moment's time. Let's first stick to this. You have, at this dinner, created a coalition of interests, a coalition of thoughts, and one element of that is the understanding and acceptance that if we're going to beat the BJP, we collectively have to put up a one-to-one fight in at least 400 seats. What else is part of that coalition of interests and thoughts?
The other thing that everybody said was that our real challenge tomorrow is going to be in Uttar Pradesh. Everybody talked about it. And there was consensus on that look, we need to support the party that can fight the BJP in Uttar Pradesh.
Which is?
Which is the Samajwadi Party.
There's a consensus on that?
Well, everybody said that yes, we should get together and fight the BJP. Because the Samajwadi Party is the only party that is really challenging at this point in time the BJP.
So the Samajwadi Party must lead the fight on behalf of the collection of thoughts and the collection of interests represented at your dinner.
And remember, the BSP was not there.
Absolutely, and it's not just that the BSP wasn't there, and that's the first big question mark. Can you therefore field the Samajwadi Party as the cutting edge? But the other thing is, will Congress, your own party, step aside?
Well, no, it's not a question of stepping aside. Remember last time, in the last election in Uttar Pradesh, Congress and Samajwadi were together. You remember the cycle symbol? And one of the images I remember was that both are riding the cycle together.
But you've parted company since then. You have a general secretary who's determined to fight it out herself. Priyanka Gandhi would be the one who have to say, I will take second place behind Akhilesh Yadav. Is that acceptance of Akhilesh being at the front there in Congress?
I can't say for sure because I'm not at the helm of affairs within the Congress party.
But there were congressmen who were at that dinner with you.
Yes, yes.
Manish Tiwari was there.
Yes.
Shashi Tharoor was there.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Chidambaram and his son were
There
there.
was no discordant note on
Bhupinder
that.
Hooda were there. All of them are of the opinion that the fight in UP must be led on behalf of the opposition by Samajwadi.
No. You're putting it positively that all of them were of the opinion. My thought is that there was no discordant note on that suggestion.
Okay. No one in Congress spoke up and said this is going to be difficult for us to accept.
Nobody said that, yes. Everybody was quiet on that.
And you're interpreting their quietness as a sign of acceptance, or at least not rejection.
No, it's not. I think it's a thought on the way forward. I don't think it's either acceptance or rejection. And I'm sure that the Congress party will think about it.
But the important thing is that the congressman present did not demur.
Yeah, they did not say anything contrary to that.
They said nothing contrary.
Yeah.
And therefore there was a consensus of acceptance.
Yeah, that's not true. Because acceptance means agreeing with it openly. They didn't do that either.
But there was no demurral.
There was no
None of the congressmen at the party demurred.
No.
Let's at this point take this particular concern one step further. There's no doubt that as a group of opposition parties, you're opposed to the BJP at the center. You quoted Sitaram Yechury a moment ago, and that confirms that.
That's right.
But at the states, you're actually rivals of each other.
Right.
The example is West Bengal,
Right.
where the TMC, the CPI, and the CPM are daggers drawn.
Absolutely.
And Sitaram Yechury, according to the Indian Express, has made it clear in Calcutta yesterday that at the West Bengal level and the Tripura level, the left parties will be opponents of TMC, even if at the center somehow they're not.
Correct.
But this is also true, by the way, of Punjab, a state you know very well.
That's correct.
You, Akali Dal, and AAM are rivals again.
Absolutely.
How do you handle that?
What?
Rivals at state level, united at the center.
Well,
How do you handle that?
That happened in the UPA itself. We were rivals in Kerala, but they supported us in UPA 1 and as part of UPA 2. You remember that. And remember this, the West Bengal election is going to be after the Lok Sabha election.
But can I put it like this? You see, if there was no connection between the Lok Sabha seats that a party wants to win and the Vidhan Sabha seats they want to win, then I can understand that you can be rivals at the Vidhan Sabha level but united at the Lok Sabha level. But parties also want to maximize their Lok Sabha seats.
What's happened in West Bengal, Karan? I mean, zero. We're zero.
So you really believe that it's possible to fight at the state level but be united and field a single candidate
Absolutely.
of that same state against the BJP?
Absolutely. I genuinely believe that. Remember in Punjab, you took the example of Punjab. BJP is non-existent in Punjab. So it's not an issue for us.
But let me put it like this. Aam Aadmi Party and Akali Dal believe that they can defeat you at the state elections when they happen in Punjab. You're convinced that in fact you can win it a second time, something you haven't done for decades up till now.
Right.
You're actually saying to me, the three of us will contest as rivals at the state level,
right.
but literally a year later or so, when it comes to the Lok Sabha elections in Punjab, we'll field united candidates
Yes,
and
because,
overcome our
because
animosities.
Aam Aadmi Party also wants to defeat the BJP. Aam Aadmi Party knows that the BJP will try move heaven and earth to defeat the Aam Aadmi Party
And
in
so
Delhi.
the three parties in Punjab, Aam Aadmi, the Akali Dal and Congress, will agree to field united
That's
candidates
tough.
at the Lok Sabha level in Punjab.
That's tough. Punjab is not so easy, I have to tell you that, because there the Akalis would want to field as many candidates as possible for the Lok Sabha
So then,
election.
Punjab is one instance
Yeah.
where your hope of opposition unity
It's
breaks
possible.
down.
Yes, it may. You see, that's why I said 400 out of 543. Why do you think I
But
said that?
isn't West Bengal another example?
No, West Bengal, in fact, we have hardly any presence now.
No, not you, but what about the
Even
left parties
CPM.
and TMC?
What presence does the left parties have in West
But the
Bengal?
left parties have to accept that in the bigger national interest of defeating
But
the
he
BJP
has
at the Lok
accepted
Sabha,
it already. Sitaram has accepted it already.
only in terms of a single sentence or two spoken in Calcutta, it doesn't mean that he's actually going to concede seats where he won't contest
No. He
to
said
TMC.
we are willing. Maybe ultimately it's who is the prominent party. Even the CPM knows it's TMC which is the prominent party. So if they're looking for some adjustment, maybe. I mean, this is something. Look, as I said, this is the start of a conversation. Probably and hopefully, all of us will realize that it's time to get together and a bit of give and take here or there.
You know what that realization or that give and take here and there actually amounts to? It means that at the Lok Sabha level, parties have to sacrifice their state interests
Yes.
for the greater national interest.
Yes.
And that means that, to take the example of Bengal, CPI, CPM have to accept we don't have much chance of winning Lok Sabha seats from Bengal. Let TMC
Not all of them. Some, maybe 1, 2,
let
3, 4.
TMC fight the vast majority.
Right.
We agree to fight just a few because the bigger goal is
Yes.
to defeat BJP.
I think they are thinking like that. Now, how it translates itself on the ground is something that we have to.
How do you know they're thinking like that? Are you going simply by that one statement made by
No.
Jyoti?
They're my friends. I mean,
You have some further assurance from them?
No assurances.
But
It's
an
just
understanding, an
not
idea.
even an understanding. It's that the thought process that unless we get together and put up a single candidate against them, we're not going to be able
But
to
tell me
win.
something, the key to putting up a single candidate against the BJP at the Lok Sabha level is the acceptance of the fact that individual parties have to sacrifice
Yeah,
in
we have.
individual states their party interest.
Not all seats, but some, most,
But
depending
that-
on who's the key
But
player
do you
in that
think
state.
that willingness to make that sacrifice exists in parties?
No, you see, it's like this. Let's take an example. Take Kerala take Kerala, Congress and CPM, right? We'll fight the state against each other, right? As far as the center is concerned, we're not going to agree on any seat because either party wins, it's okay for us. So not a problem in Kerala. I'm just giving you an example. In most of northern India, it's a 1-to-1 with BJP, so no problem there. Most of Tamil Nadu, no issue.
It will be a problem in states
some
like
a few
Karnataka.
states. Yes, you're right.
It could be a problem in Telangana,
Yes.
maybe even Andhra.
Andhra, no, very little.
But most of northern India, it will be.
Won't be.
No, because remember, Congress, to take the example of UP, will have to say we will fight very few seats and let
UP
Akhilesh fight
I'm
most
not
of them.
talking of UP. I'm talking about Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana.
What about Bihar? Last time you fought at the
Bihar
state level,
again.
71 and 119.
Yeah, Bihar
Will you
again.
make a similar sacrifice?
Again, we have to talk to to RJD, and you know that Lalu is a force to reckon with.
And he was at your dinner.
And he was at my dinner.
And you believe Lalu has also accepted that the goal is to beat the BJP at the Lok Sabha, and for that, every party will have to make some sacrifice of its party interests at state level.
Yes.
You believe Lalu's on board, he's accepted.
I believe all of them are thinking on those lines. Now,
and none has demurred.
None has demurred.
And Lalu is one of those.
Yes, of course, all of them are thinking on those lines.
Okay, let's sum up this particular section with one point where I think we're in agreement. I'm simply repeating it so the audience remember it. That what you agree is that it's critical for you to defeat the BJP to field at the Lok Sabha level a 1-to-1 fight in at least 400 seats.
That's right.
And to do that, you also accept that parties individually will have to sacrifice to some extent their state level interest.
Yes, yes.
We agree on that.
Yes, yes.
Let's come to another area where you could have problems. Many of these parties have different ideologies and on fundamental issues that matter to India think differently. Shiv Sena is a Hindutva-based party. The RJD and Samajwadi are caste-based parties. CPI, CPM are communist.
Correct.
Your party, at least officially, is committed to economic liberalism and is very proud of the 1991 reform.
Correct.
Won't these ideological differences also keep you apart? Your vision of India, when you go into the details of, say, economic policy, becomes very different. You're united in restoring democracy, human rights, civil rights, but in terms of running the economy, you have differences.
I agree. But see what's happening in Maharashtra now. Could you ever imagine that the Shiv Sena, the NCP and the Congress would come together? They're running the government. You know, we know Shiv Sena's ideology, but they too have watered down the manner in which they are moving forward as an exception to what happened when they were not with us.
Do you think that there is an acceptance at the widespread level that opposition parties need to do this to be able to rule India together?
We'll have to forge a common agenda. We'll have to do that before we move forward.
How easy or difficult will that be?
Tough, not easy. No, these are not easy things at all. It's tough. But the question is, if you are gravitating towards this ideal thought that, look, we need to get rid of this government, right? Then you have to do this. There is no choice with us.
And you're also suggesting, because you raised the Maharashtra example, that what the Shiv Sena, Congress and NCP were able to do in Maharashtra can suggest it can be done by a much bigger number of parties nationally in Delhi.
Absolutely. I mean, even YSR, even in Telangana, people know that the BJP is like a...
In Maharashtra, can I interrupt?
BJP is like... Sorry.
Let me interrupt. The interesting thing is that Maharashtra, the three parties that have come together, have problems over Hindutva and secularism. And that's been sorted out because Shiv Sena has put on a back burner many of the issues of concern, and Congress has been accepting and willing to ally with the Shiv Sena.
Absolutely.
The problem is at the national level, the issues of importance won't be just secularism versus Hindutva, there'll also be economic policy. The economic policy of the three partners in Maharashtra is very similar. The economic policy at the national level of the left and Congress, RJD, TMC are very different. Can you agree on economic policy?
Yes, we can, provided we have a common agenda and a common platform for that agenda.
You don't think this is insuperable?
No, of course not. Nothing is. See, politics is the art of the possible, right? And compromise is the name of the game.
Do you sense that similar willingness to compromise in the others? Obviously, I have to rely on your answer because I don't know their answer. I'm only being skeptical, but do you sense it? I'll accept your word if you do.
I sense it.
You really do?
I do.
You're not just saying this because it's the right answer to give?
No. I sense it. I sense it. We've had conversations with a lot of people.
You've had several conversations other than the dinner?
Well, of course.
In other words, this conversation fructified at the dinner, but it's been happening in phone calls and meetings for a while before that.
It's not, you cannot put it that way. It's not that it fructified. It didn't fructify. It's a conversation. It's an ongoing conversation.
It became public to the rest of the world when the dinner happened.
It's an ongoing conversation.
But it's been happening before that.
People are thinking on those terms. All political parties.
Tell me this. How far back in time do these conversations go? How long have you people been talking to each other before at the dinner we found out about it?
Yeah, all of us have been talking about these things.
For how long?
At a one-to-one level that,
How long? Give me some sense.
Quite some time, 6-8 months.
So it's a process that's been happening for 6-8 months. Let me put you a problem that you could face that I'm sure you've anticipated, but I'm not sure if you have an answer to. When and if, and I'm using those words deliberately, when and if it looks to the rest of the world that you are forging a measure of unity, you'll be hit by the money power, muscle power, and the bag of machinations of the BJP. And you know from Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka, Arunachal, Uttarakhand, Goa, and Manipur just how effective the BJP be. Just how effective they can be at breaking parties. Do you have defenses you can erect to protect yourself?
Well, the only defense is the people of India, quite frankly. I think the people of
Well,
India...
the people of India didn't matter in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Goa.
That is after governments were formed. That's different.
In Goa and Manipur, it was after the election, before
That's
the governments
right,
were
but
formed.
we are talking now people going to the election. That's different. You're talking about breaking parties after a result, is announced. So that's different. You can break MLAs at that point in time, but at a national level, it becomes very difficult. Very, very difficult.
So what
I don't think money power.
Answer, are you not particularly worried about the money power and muscle power of the BJP?
No. Because I think people are fed up. The people of this country want an alternative. They don't like the BJP, but they don't have an alternative as yet.
They've got thousands of crores raised through
it's okay.
the new funding scheme. You've got barely 300.
It's okay. It doesn't really matter. I think when people are against you, then all of this doesn't
matter. Can I put
matter.
this to you? Some people hearing this may say he's being a bit blasé about this.
I'm not being blasé at all. I'm being honest. I'm being honest because I had a conversation with ordinary people across the country. Remember, every day in my office, there are people from different parts of this country who come to me.
And you're saying that if the BJP attempts
through
money and muscle to break parties, the people of India will not tolerate it.
Big industry won't say so, they are unhappy. The MSME sector won't say so, they are very unhappy. The small entrepreneur is very unhappy. The backward community is very unhappy. Who is happy with this government?
No,
nobody is happy.
But that's a slightly different point to the one I'm making. I accept and
therefore
understand.
I say the people. It'll be the people against the BJP, and the vanguard of that will be this coalition.
So you're saying the protection of this unity that you're trying to create amongst opposition parties from the BJP trying to break it with their money and with their muscle, the protection comes from the people of India.
Yes. If the people are not with us, we are out.
It's a grand idea, but is it realistic?
The time will tell. I mean, look.
But the people didn't stop the BJP breaking your government in Karnataka, in Madhya Pradesh, in not letting you form a government in Goa and Manipur. The people were bystanders.
Remember World War II. Remember the Axis powers. They were just running roughshod.
I think we're getting beyond ourselves if we start comparing the situation
to
World War II.
US came at the right time.
Well, no, let's not completely deflect the conversation. I think this example will take us into other territory. Let's come back to the actual problem you face. And I'll repeat it because I think it's a real problem. If and when you give the impression that your unity is beginning to forge and you are thinking of getting together and you are becoming a creative force, at that point, the BJP's money and muscle and machinations will be used to break you up. And they're very effective. Is there any form of defense you can put up?
I can't possibly give you answers for that question, quite frankly.
It's too far down the road?
It's too far down the road.
But aren't you thinking about it?
No, it's 3 years down the road. First, we've just started a conversation. Let's get together, see how we can move forward. I don't think I can give you answers, honestly, on this issue.
Let me come to another
problem.
They
will use everything. They will use the CBI, they will use the ED, they will reopen
And they
cases.
will buy MPs and MLAs.
Buy MPs is not an issue because they're yet to get a ticket. So that's different. Buying comes after the election, doesn't come before.
But they can hobble you before through the CBI and the ED.
That they will do. That they will do.
And you're prepared for it.
It's not a question of prepared. If they do that, the more they do that, the less chances of their winning the election.
In other words, if they try it in an obvious and irritating way, it will turn the people of India against them. And that, in a sense, is the weapon of defense.
That's the only.
This is what you mean the people are with us.
Exactly.
It will put off the voters and convince them we need a change.
They have a great machinery for buying people after the election.
Let me put you what many believe is yet another obstacle you have to tackle. If opposition unity is to be meaningfully forged, then it can only be in the present circumstances with Congress at the core and the center.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, for 2.5 years almost, Congress hasn't had a full-fledged president, and who knows when you will.
Right.
And an even bigger problem is that 22 colleagues of yours, and you making 23, have been trying to revitalize the party, and your efforts have seen no success whatsoever.
Right. So far, that's right.
So far.
Yes, I agree. That's something that the
In other
Congress
words,
needs to.
the inability of Congress to put itself back on track, the turmoil within the
This
party
project will
is
fail.
another stumbling
This
block.
project will fail without the Congress rejuvenating itself. This project is
Congress shows no signs of
well,
rejuvenating itself.
We're still 3 years down the road, and I hope the Congress, realizes the importance and the significance of its primacy in this process.
One test of Congress being willing to rejuvenate itself is holding that election for president.
Yes.
It's been repeatedly postponed, and now we don't even have a date when it's going to happen.
It will happen. That's a promise that has been made publicly. It will happen maybe.
Rahul Gandhi
next year.
first resigned, I think, around the 26th, 27th of May 2019, shortly after the results came out. He reconfirmed it in August of that year. Sonia Gandhi has been appointed on an interim basis several times. How long can you continue as a party without a head?
It's worrisome, and I've been saying that publicly. You see, it's not just, remember, the office bearers of a party are part of public record. Remember, when you register a party with the Election Commission, you have to give the names of all persons who hold offices within the party, namely president, secretary, all that. It's a public duty. It's a public duty, right? It's not a private affair. And therefore, if you don't have a president for more than 2 years, actually, it's a public duty that has to be discharged.
But you're not.
Because that's precisely the point which is why I've been repeating this all along. It's not a private affair.
But you made an even bigger point a moment ago. Without Congress correcting itself
Yes.
and revitalizing itself,
Project
the
is
hope
doomed
of
to
opposition unity is doomed to failure.
Doomed to failure. Doomed to failure.
So your real starting point is
Yes.
get the Congress House in order.
Not my real starting point, the Congress Party's real starting point, realizing that it has to be in the forefront to forge this
But
coalition.
let me put this to you. The people in whose hands the Congress Party is, I'm not naming them on purpose, but we know who we're talking about, don't seem to show any sense of hurry about revitalizing the party.
Why don't-
2 years have passed, and they're quite happy not to have a full-fledged president.
I don't know whether they are happy or not happy, but I think that the time has come that they should get their act together.
But you think so? Do they?
I think so.
Do they?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think they owe it a duty to the people of India.
Let me go one step further. You know this and I know this, that there were voices raised at your dinner that Congress needs to rethink its relationship with the Gandhi family. And again, you know and I know, Congress will not talk about this publicly, but there are one or two in their private conversations who think along these lines. But is it possible? Can you rethink your relationship with the Gandhis?
It's not for me to say, nor will I comment on that, quite frankly, Karan. I'll tell you why. Because these are issues that the party has to grapple with. I'm an individual. I'm not an office
I
bearer
understand.
of the party.
And-
it's an issue
But
that the
is your
party,
party
for
grappling-
those around Mrs. Gandhi, for those who support a particular point of view, they too have to realize that to revive the Congress, to revitalize the Congress, they need a rethink. Now, what that rethink is, I don't know, right? We're not talking about individuals, but they need to rejuvenate this party, bring it back as a force to be reckoned with. And if they will not do that, then this project is doomed to failure.
Absolutely. But the problem is that the people around the Gandhis are not thinking, or at least we aren't aware if they are. Are they doing it secretly?
I don't know. I mean, I have not had very intimate, conversations on this issue with anybody, quite frankly. But, I think...
Can I put this to you? You accept readily that the project is doomed to failure
Yes.
if Congress cannot revitalize itself. What is the state of your relationship with Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi?
It's okay. I mean, in the sense, there's no real relationship.
When did you last meet Sonia Gandhi?
Some time ago.
Meaning? A year, two?
Maybe a year ago, maybe.
Maybe 2 years
I
ago.
don't remember. No, not two, maybe a year ago.
But so far back you don't remember.
No. Yeah, exactly.
When did you meet Rahul Gandhi last?
I mean, on and off, maybe at the flag hoisting ceremony or stuff like that. But
When did
I
you
don't
speak
think
to
I
him?
don't think we've had a conversation in 2 years.
You and Rahul Gandhi haven't had a conversation in 2 years.
No.
And that could be true of Sonia Gandhi as well.
Well, no, I think I've had a conversation with her.
You used to be once upon a time the family's chosen lawyer, not just for Congress.
I still represent them.
But it sounds to me that differences have either come between you and them, or if not differences, you're going your different ways.
No, there are no differences because we have not had a conversation about differences. That's not the point.
You don't have to
thing
have
is
a
that the
conversation
thing
about
is
differences.
that
Do they exist without the
thing is that
conversation?
we as a group felt, and we made it public, that we need to go by the Constitution and take certain steps.
You're referring to the letter.
Yes, and we hope, and we still hope, that that will happen. The fact that I have not had a conversation cannot stand in the way, quite frankly, should not stand in the way. I am willing...
Should not is more appropriate than cannot.
Yes, as a congressman, I am willing to move out and say I'll have, I don't even mind being thrown out as long as the Congress revives itself. I'm not here...
Just repeat that again.
Yes.
You don't mind being thrown out of the party as long as the Congress revives itself.
I want the Congress to win. I want the ideology...
Is there a message there to Mrs. Gandhi? Throw me out if you want to, if you don't like me, but please revive Congress.
It is not about me. It's about my party, and it's about the people of this country.
So you don't want to be an obstacle to the revival?
Yes, it doesn't matter.
But when you say...
I can willingly, publicly say, please revive the Congress, do what you can, don't have me there. It doesn't matter. It's about people. It's about the country.
And I think this message will be heard when she watches this interview. But let me come to something else. A few days after your dinner, when you were seeking to put together a platform of opposition unity to the BJP, it seems Sonia Gandhi has much the same idea as well. She's organizing a meeting on Friday the 20th. That's just about in 6 days' time.
That's great.
And then that's going to be followed by some sort of dinner in September, if the newspapers can be believed.
That's
But we're
great.
going to end up with two separate parallel tracks trying to do the same thing.
We are willing to efface ourselves as long as the Congress revives itself.
That's very... You are willing to subsume yourself under her track.
There is no problem at all. See, we are not against anybody. We want the Congress to get strong. It's not about me. It's not about Ghulam Nabi. It's not about Anand. It's not about Manish. It's about the Congress.
I'm just repeating what you said because it's so important. We're willing to efface ourselves. You're willing to subsume your track under Sonia Gandhi's track.
Bring the reform process up. Do the reforms. Take it forward. Get the elections done. Go by the Constitution. Get whoever is the president, whoever it may be, let him be elected. We have no problems. We are committed congressmen who will never join the BJP.
So you set a ball rolling, in a sense, publicly with your dinner on the 9th. Sonia Gandhi, it seems, has picked it up and wants to run as well. And you're saying to her, we're happy to efface ourselves. We'll subsume our track under yours. Please carry the initiative forward. You take the lead and forge opposition unity. We're behind you.
Exactly. Not just forge opposition unity. Remember, there are two parallel issues here. One, opposition unity. One is reform within the party.
But the second, she seems to speak nothing about.
Why? As I said...
Not a word from her.
As I said, this is what we want. See, one is the issue internal to the party.
And the other is all parties.
All parties, external to the party.
But this is the point I'm making. Sonia Gandhi has picked up one of the balls that you wanted to carry, and you're happy to subsume yourself behind her or beneath her.
Yes.
Let her forge opposition unity.
Absolutely.
But the other track, which is internal revival of Congress,
We'll continue to talk about
but she's
it.
silent about it.
We'll continue to talk about
But
it.
your talking about it seems to make no difference as long as she's silent.
That doesn't matter.
This is why people say you need to rethink your relationship
It
with the
doesn't matter.
Gandhis.
Even if they don't do it, it doesn't stop us from talking about
But
it.
the problem is that if Sonia picks up the all-party ball and runs with it without revitalizing Congress, you've already said that is a process that's doomed to failure.
Unless it's sort of Congress...
Does she realize that? Does she realize that?
Not for me to say. It's like this, and this is something that was endorsed when Omar raised that point. It is endorsed by everybody. All the people sitting there.
Including the congressman?
Yes. Yes, we are part of that G20.
I'm just repeating it.
So-called G20.
I'm just repeating it because I think it's important that it shouldn't be said in code. Let the audience understand. You're saying that when Omar Abdullah raised at your dinner that the credibility of opposition unity hinges upon the revitalization of Congress, every congressman present accepted it, no one demurred.
No question. We were somewhat as I said, none of the congressmen there endorsed what one guest said. But as far
That
as
one guest being Naresh Gujral, who said, rethink your relationship with the Gandhis.
Let's forget that. But everybody endorsed what Omar said.
But you know, it's one thing for everyone. And I'll just repeat
Including
their name.
the Congress. Including the Congress.
I'll repeat their names so the audience remembers. It's one thing for the Anand Sharma, Shashi Tharoors, Manish Tiwari's, Bhupinder Singh Huddahs, the Chidambarams, all to endorse the need for Congress to revitalize itself, because many of them, with the exception of the Chidambarams, were actually part of your letter.
Yes.
So they believe in this. So that's quite okay for them to endorse it. However, and this is the important thing, are they aware that nothing on that front is happening, and are they prepared to
We're
battle
all
to
aware.
ensure?
Why?
But are they prepared to battle to ensure it does? Is any of them prepared to go up to Mrs. Gandhi and say, it's high time,
We
madam?
have already done that. We have met her. My colleagues
years
have
ago.
met her. No, 1 year. Why 2 years ago? Met her. My colleagues met her in an interaction.
Yeah, but nothing happened.
That's different. But the fact is, we're not going to stop this. This is something that is at the heart.
So that we are coming to the end of this interview,
revitalization
but
of
it
the
seems
party.
two things are going to happen simultaneously.
Yes.
Sonia Gandhi and Kapil Sibal, or Sonia Gandhi with Kapil Sibal's track subsumed in hers, as you said would be the case, will carry on trying to forge opposition unity.
Yes.
And on the other hand, attempts to revitalize Congress, which are essential, will continue to stall.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll continue to speak out on that.
Yeah, and she'll continue to ignore
I
it.
don't know either. I'm sure that she will not. I think that she's
She's
already
shown
said,
no sign of
No,
listening
she
to
has
you.
said there will be elections. That's not true.
Quite right, not fixed a date and repeatedly postponed it when she
fix
did.
a date. And you know the term is expiring next year, so that election will
Just
have
get
to be
another
held.
term after that.
Yeah, so the election will have-
You've had interim presidents for a long time, you can carry on.
No, you can't. You have to have the election. You know that. That is part of our constitution.
All right, let's leave it there. We've reached a very interesting position. I'm just repeating the main points that you've made. Your dinner led to what you called a coalition of interests, a coalition of thoughts, and one of the critical elements of that coalition was the acceptance that to be able to defeat the BJP at the national level, you have to put up a single candidate in at least 400 seats. And the second thing that's part of that coalition is the understanding or the acceptance that to be able to beat the BJP at the national level, that is the Lok Sabha level, parties will have to make some level of sacrifice in terms of their party interests at the state level. That is an agreement that you believe no one demurred from.
No, it's not an agreement at all.
It's an understanding, it's
Conversation.
but no one
on which
demurred.
there were no dissonant voices.
There were no dissonant voices. And the other thing is that you're very happy to subsume your track of forging opposition unity under the effort that Sonia is making. Let her be the one to do it. You'll support her. You're happy to subsume your track under hers. As you said, you're happy to efface yourself.
Provided we are part of that track. Supposing we are not part of that track, I'll sit at my individual level, my colleagues at the individual level, still try and have conversations with everybody to get together so that...
When you say provided we are part of that track, is we Kapil Sibal or is it all of you?
No, all of us.
But what happens if she keeps Kapil Sibal out but all the others?
No problem. I have no problems with that. I have no
And the
problem.
other thing you said...
I'm not here for a personal agenda.
Absolutely. And the other thing you said, and you said it 2-3 times, she can push me out of the party, I don't mind, but please revitalize the party.
Correct.
Right?
I am not relevant. The
You're not
party is
relevant. And in a sense, when I said to you that may be a message you're giving her, you didn't seem to demur either.
No, it's not a question of message to anybody. I'm just making it clear that it's not about
Get rid of me, but
it's not about
revitalize...
G23. It's not about me. It's
But
about
you said
Congress.
something also. Get rid of me if you want to, but revitalize the party.
Yes.
The only problem is, when or if will she revitalize the party?
to God.
That's where question marks
I
hang
pray
tantalizingly.
I pray to God that happens soon, very soon.
Well, you got to hope God's listening to you. He ain't been listening to you
God
for a
does
long time.
listen. God
He
does
ain't
listen.
been listening to you
God
for a
does
long time.
listen. For all those who pray
Okay.
with honesty, God does listen.
Okay, that's a good note on which to end. Everything else is in your power to do and perform, but on revitalization of the party, it's faith in God that you need. God has to listen to you, otherwise that party ain't revitalizing. Kapil Sibal, at a moment when you're smiling, thank you very much for this interview. Thank you very much for opening up and explaining exactly what went on and what are the consequences and outcomes of that momentous dinner on the 9th. Take care, stay safe.